Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to present this model to you. Let's see here, let's just go ahead and dive right in here. You can see I've got a representation of your pool deck area, well, half of your pool decking area. And let's just go ahead and get right into it here. So, let me just set this camera up here. And we're going to start over here. Here is the corner of the lanai cage, and back here is where it stops. And then the lanai cage comes out about 5 feet or so, and then it starts to become your 3-foot pool decking that you have across the way. Every time in my model you see one of these, it is going to represent a light. So every orange toothpick guy is a light, and generally I do solar lights just for ease of comfort and things like that. So over here we start with a nice little planter, and as you can see, I've got it dressed out with nice foliage. The planter itself looks and resembles a fractured rock, and you can see on the front here it's got a lot of fractures and stuff. Never mind the color of clay. It's just what I have on hand and what I use. Behind here, let's see, behind here on the rock, you can see some other fracturing and stuff, and that stuff kind of goes all the way through the stone, just like it would in nature. And that's what you would see. In the back, I've got a nice little rock back here dressed up, and you can see all the fractures and everything like that. It's like maybe some of this rock kind of sloughed off and blew off, and the sides kind of blew out and fractured down to the core and just ended up there as part of a neat little rock. Let's see, moving on. Oops, goodness. Moving on here. We've got the base of the waterfall, and you can see this rock is just got a lot of fractures and stuff in it, like what you would want to see. I've got a light sitting right over here next to some nice lush foliage. It's sitting in one of the planters. That rock is accompanied by another couple rocks, and you can see the fractures in these. And everything that you see in my clay model, you'll get as a representation in your waterfall. Then on the top rock here, we've got some nice little moss growing on the top and over to the side. And then we've got water falling out of a weir. And then that water is going to travel down here and hit off of these rocks, and these rocks here, and this rock here, and these rocks under here, and then fall down into the pool. Should create quite the spectacle, quite the noise. It'll be very, very soothing and relaxing. And then you can see the rock kind of holds together there, and then on the side of it, it seems to have a blowout where the water has eroded the rock away, and you've got another little waterfall here. And then that water is going to fall down onto here, and then to here, to this shelving, which is striated rock down here, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And then off of that rock and down into the pool for the return. You can see the fractures we've got going on all this rock in here, and all this will be true. Let me pull out the waterfall here. And all this will be true to what you get when you receive our waterfalls. You can see I've got other rocks stacked in here, striated rock here, fractured rock here, and all these fractures run through the stone just like they would. And so if you see something on the front, it's going to carry through that stone and come out the backside just like it should. Now the backside of this is just as much of a spectacle as the front. So moving on to the other side, right next to these fantastic fractures here, we've got a nice little planter up top here, and I don't think that'll be affected by the fall here. Just for the mere fact you're going to have the water more or less bending down like this instead of up and out like that. That's not really natural, so it'll be bending down like that and then falling on this rock and down to here and there. So I don't think those will be affected at all. You can see there's a light back here to kind of, we can do a couple things here. We can project the light here onto the water and light up this side of the water feature, or we can project the light over here to this side and light up this side of the rock. We could definitely illuminate the back of the foliage. Gives it a real nice look at nighttime. That again is stacked on another tier of rocks. You can see the fractures running all the way through that. You can see your decking peeking out just a little bit here, and just a little bit here, and then here. Most of the rock work will be overhanging the decking just a little bit, and that's to ensure that we have proper waterfall and a cascade back to the water to return the water from the fall to the pool. Back over here, you've got kind of a cap rock. This will have texture all over the top of it. I think I just poked a hole in her. And right here on the side, you can see another fantastic fracture in this rock. Kind of goes all the way through to the base of that. Overhangs the pool deck a little bit. You've got a nice planter on this side with the light back here. My idea was to get that light to either project out here onto these plants and foliage, or onto this foliage here, or maybe illuminate this rock as you cast the light forward and up to the top of the rock there. Then that's going to be about the end of the structure here. I do want to notate that on all of the planters there's a water clean out and drain out, so that the water doesn't just reside in the planter itself. So it's got to have somewhere to go, and that will be here away from the pool decking. Same thing with here, it'll be back here away from the decking. And any kind of planters back here, you can see there's a drain out back here. Where's my pointer? Back here for this guy. And then there's a drain out back here for this guy. So back here is the lanai cage. And you can see I'm not exactly right up against it, but I'm pretty darn close. So that'll be enough room to finagle somebody and get back in there, get to your plumbing should you ever have to. Now, as we started over here at this planter, you'd come to the corner, you'd walk down a tier, you'd walk down another tier, and then you'd hit the decking. Here's your pool steps right here. I thought this would be a nice little addition, a nice little seat wall, about 4.5 feet long or so here. Give you a little bit of poolside seating next to the steps in the shallow end. On the direct opposite side, right next to where your skimmer resides, I thought about doing a nice little curved seat wall about 5 feet long. This will be right next to the seat wall that's in your pool right here. That'll be a dry stack stone look here with a slated stone top. Very nice addition to any rockwork feature or as a standalone. They look very great. They look very good, like a stonemason would do them. So this is the waterfall. You're going to have moss growing on top of that sucker. A couple nice little planters. I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights in this entire setup here. Let's see. Okay, now let's talk size for a moment. Now this is an 1 inch to a foot scale, and for every inch we're going to be 1 foot in size. So we're going to be about here. So there's 14. So you're going to be about 19 feet long in length total. And at the tallest point, you're going to be roughly at about 3 to 4 feet tall, maybe closer to 4.5 feet tall here. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching my little presentation here. I hope you like it. I know I do.